What's up FFXIV Endwalker gamers, this is Jaden for Team HJJ. Welcome to the channel where we cover all Final Fantasy XIV content quick and easy so you can get back to gaming. Alright, let's get at it. This is going to be a quick guide on Vanaspati. In this video, we're going to cover 3 bosses you'll encounter in this dungeon and if necessary, noticeable trash and mechanics. The first boss of this dungeon is going to be Terminus Snatcher. Note of Despair will cause group-wide damage, healers be ready. Last cast will be your typical tank buster on the primary target. The boss will cast Molotov, summoning 5 mouths in a circular pattern on the arena. Players will have to identify and stand on a closed mouth before they form a point-blank circular AoE and explode. The boss will also cast What's Left of What's Right, covering the entire arena on his side of choice. Players can identify this by which arm the boss has raised during the cast. Lost Hope will infect players with a temporary misdirection debuff, spawning and spinning a hand above their head. Players will have to carefully time the direction the hand is pointing to in order to move and maneuver their characters to the safe zone. Note, this debuffs tend to fall off right before the mouths explode. If players are close enough to the closed mouth, they can simply wait for the debuff to fall off before moving. Wallow will target all players with a spread out marker, simply spread out to avoid overlapping. Stay cautious of the boss overlapping his abilities, and this one shouldn't pose much of a problem. Next up is going to be Terminus Wrecker. Meaningless destruction will cause group-wide damage, healers be ready. Total Wreck will be your typical tank buster on the primary target. Poison Heart will target a random player with a stack up marker. Players will have to stack up to minimize the damage. Unholy Water will summon 6 orbs of water in a circular pattern around the room. Any players touching these orbs will be sucked in for a short period of time. After using Holy Water, the boss will use one of the 2 following abilities. Ether Siphoning, absorbing either fire or water from the surrounding, followed by Ether Spray. Fire will blast the entire arena with massive fire damage. Players will need to run into one of the water orbs before the cast is finished to avoid the damage. Note, there can sometimes be a delay before players are absorbed, so make sure you have sufficient time before the cast goes off. Water will spawn a large Radial Knockback marker in the center of the room. Players will need to stand in the center of the arena to avoid being knocked into the fire or water orbs. This is a pretty easy one. The final boss of this dungeon is going to be Banu. At the start of the fight, the outer edges of the arena will be covered in blue flames. Getting knocked into this will cause a damage over time debuff. Flames and decay will cause group-wide damage. Like always, healers be ready. The Gnashing of Teeth will be your typical tank buster on the primary target. The boss will cast Ethereal Disruption, dividing the platform into 4 sections and 2 colors. Players will then be presented with a huge red circle or a blue triangle on the screen. Players will need to stand in the opposite color to avoid damage. The boss will also cast Crumbling Sky, causing one of both of the following abilities. First, a Radial Knockback. All players will need to position themselves in a way that they'll be knocked onto the right color. Or all players will receive a spread out marker above their head. Players will need to spread out to avoid overlapping. The boss will eventually run to the outer edge of the arena, take off and cast Crumbling Sky, blasting 3 of the 4 sections of the platform with meteors in a direct line. Simply move left and right to the safe areas while avoiding the barrage of the circular AoEs the boss will rain down during this phase. Pay attention to your color, stay light on your feet, and the boss should fall over in no time. If you enjoyed the video, don't forget to like, comment and subscribe, and hopefully I'll see you in the comment section. Alright, now that you know what to do, queue up and go show them why you belong.